Today we have gathered here to hear some of the most notable personalities speak on various bejeweled topics, which will be resourceful to all of us. On the panel of speakers, we have Livestock as Saviors of Climate by Professor Dr. NSR Sastry, Chief Patron, Indian Society of Animal Production and Management, Andhra Pradesh. Livestock farming for household nutrition and job security for unemployed youth during the post-COVID-19 period, that will be delivered by Professor Dr. K. Sarpan Reddy, Dean and Comptroller, Sri Venkateshwara Veterinary University, Tirupati, Regional Coordinator, UBA, and President of Indian Society of Animal Production and Management. Alternate livestock species for livelihood in Northeast region of India will be delivered by Dr. Nazrul Haq, Principal Scientist, National Research Center on Mithun, Nagaland. And number 4, Backyard Livestock Farming for Women Empowerment, that will be delivered by Honorable Dr. A. Sarat Chandra, Professor and Secretary, ISAPM, Department of Livestock Production and Management, College of Veterinary Science, Rajendra Nagar, Hyderabad. Amongst the team of participants, we have the most eminent panel of personalities from our university, the Assam Agricultural University, Jorhat. We have Dr. Bidut Chandan Deka Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Assam Agricultural University, Jorhat, as the Chief Patron of the webinar. Dr. Bibekananda Saikya Sir, Dean, Faculty of Veterinary Science, College of Veterinary Science, Assam Agricultural University, Khanapara, as the patron. Dr. T.K. Amonge, Professor and Head, Department of Livestock Production and Management, College of Veterinary Science, Assam Agricultural University, Khanapara, as the chairman. As the organizing secretary, we have Honorable Dr. Zakir Hussain Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of LPM, CVSC, AAU. On the panel of joint organizing secretary, we have Dr. Rajyoti Deka Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of LPM, College of Veterinary Science. As co-chairman, we have on the panel Honorable Dr. Nabakumar Sharma Sir, Professor, Department of LPM, Dr. J.P. Bodoloy Sir, Professor, Department of LPM, Dr. D.K. Barua Sir, Professor, Department of LPM, College of Veterinary Science, Assam Agriculture University, Khanapara. On the panel of advisors, we have Professor Dr. K. Sarjan Reddy, Dean and President ISAPM SVVU Tirupati, and Professor Honorable Dr. A. Sarat Chandra, Professor and Secretary ISAPM Hyderabad. We will now be beginning with the series of events that are planned for the webinar. On the very first, may I request Dr. Bibekananda Saikya Sir, Dean, Faculty of Veterinary Science, College of Veterinary Science, Khanapara, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
So good afternoon to you all. Most respected Professor Dr. NSR Sastry Sir, Chief Patron, Indian Society for Animal Production and Management, Dr. Dilip Borua, Professor, Department of LPM, Head, In Charge Head, Dr. Juti Bordoloi, Dr. Nabakumar Sharma, and other teachers who are present here and the students. And also Professor Dr. K. Sajan Reddy, Dean and Comptroller, Sri Venkateshwara Veterinary University and Regional Coordinator UVA and President of Indian Society for Animal Production and Management, Tirupati. And my friend Dr. Nazrul Haq, Principal Scientist and Director, NRC on Mithun, Mesdifama, Nagaland. They would be, I think, they would be the key speakers on today's webinar. This national webinar, Livestock, a driving force for food security and self-sufficiency during post-COVID-19 phase. So The webinar that is being organized by the Department of Livestock Production and Management in collaboration of Indian Society for Animal Production and Management is a very timely webinar is being organized. And on behalf of the College of Veterinary Science and on all the teaching members and students, postgraduate students of this department, I welcome Dr. NSR Sastry sir, Dr. K. Sajan Reddy, and Dr. Nazrul Haq to this webinar. They will be working as a resource person in this webinar. And one of the important things I would like to say that Dr. NSR Sastry sir, he has visited our college, and also for Dr. Nazrul Haq, also a frequent visitor to our college. Even then, I would like to give a brief introduction of this college, that this college is one of the premier institute of the Northeastern region, established in the year 1948, and it would be this college is heading for celebrating its platinum jubilee in 2023. And this college is having 19 departments, and also we do have a well-organized farm complex, and also we do have teaching veterinary clinical complex, which is the state-of-the-art clinical complex in our college. And this college, this Department of LPM, Livestock Production and Management, is also doing very yeoman service in promoting animal husbandry in this part of the region. And also they have organized this Indian Society for Animal Production and Management National Seminar in our college. So they have also contribution towards the growth and development of this animal husbandry program in this part of the country. So this webinar, when it is organized, Dr. T.K. amongst the professor and head of the department approached along with Dr. Zakir, and along with our Honorable Vice Chancellor, we have immediately accepted that we should go for organizing such kind of webinar which can give some light to our listener and also to the animal husbandry practitioners. So from that point of view, that livestock a driving force for food security and self-sufficiency during post-COVID-19 is an important webinar. As I would like to say, livestock are important contributors to total food production for the human population in the form of milk, meat, and egg. And also milk is purely regarded as a complete food for baby, young children, and adults. The livestock rearing by the rural poor people give an opportunity to fulfill their nutritional need and meet the demand for urgent financial requirement during festivals and religious celebrations. Livestock production constitute a very important component of the agricultural economy of developing countries. Then this part of the region, you also, all of us, we know that this northeastern region, including Assam, the livestock plays a very important role. Though it is related to animal husbandry, related to ancient civilization, but the people of this region are also a part or a part of their daily life in rearing livestock as a part of livelihood earning. So livestock are closely linked to the social and cultural lives of several million resource-poor farmers whom animal ownership ensures varying degree of sustainable farming and economic stability. As we know, that India is a very huge country, having 133 million crores of people, but the livestock population is also huge. The livestock population, one of the highest livestock population in this part of we possess in India, out of which this livestock, cattle and buffalo, they are the major constituent of this part of the region. But one of the important thing I must have to say that while we go for telling about those of the livestock, many of the scientists from Western world, they try to blame us that this livestock, because of this livestock, huge livestock population, the Indian livestock, mostly the cattle and buffalo, they contribute for this methane emission is a responsible factor for global warming. So that aspect is also there. So how can we go for mitigation of those of the global warming, or to go for that, to the claim that is being made by the other scientists that our indigenous cattle and buffalo, they are contributor for global warming. But it is already proved that this is not the actual reason. But it is the responsibility of our scientists, animal husbandry people, how we can go for manipulating our feeding system, how we can go for manipulating our animal husbandry system to augment our production system. The blame, because we are heading, or we are the largest milk producer in the world, surpassing United States of America, because this 184 million metric tons of milk that is produced, that is only possible because of our scientists and because of the improved animal husbandry practices. Now, one of the important things, the driving force that I would like to say, that development will bring food security only if it is people-centered, if it is environmentally sound, if it is participatory, and if it builds local and national capacity for self-reliance. These are the basic characteristics of sustainable human development. But without livestock development, the human development or civilization cannot go alone. We cannot go alone if we do not have the livestock products. But these are the products, the livestock products are pure and the original form of products that is only being consumed by the human being at present without any hesitation. During post-COVID-19, importance of livestock has increased manifold, as it gives golden opportunity to the unemployed youth and also to the reverse migrated youth. The livestock is the only sector where one can be employed locally and need not to go far from home to get job. As our Honorable Prime Minister has also advocated, that be vocal for local. And to double the farmers' income by 2020, the livestock is the only way along which we can go for doubling the farmers' income. And it has also been proved. The great animal scientist Delgado, he has said that without the livestock revolution, we cannot develop and we cannot go forward. This is one of the statements being given by the greatest scientist, the Delgado. So we must look at the animal husbandry practices, how efficiently with the present situation we can go ahead. That is another important factor. So it is the right time to boost up the livestock sector for creation of more job and income generation. In this webinar, I would like to appeal to our Sastry sir, Shajan Reddy, and Dr. Nazrul Haq that during this time, we have the reverse migrated population in our, not only in Northeastern South or in our country. And these reverse migrated populations are the unemployed population in the country and in this part of the region. How we can go for employing this reverse migrated people or the reverse migrated population to employ them and also to generate income, not only for their own and also for their families. And this is to generate income by these migrated people and also to improve our economy. The livestock sector is the only sector through which we can provide employment, we can provide security, and we can provide safe and good food. So in this webinar, I hope our resource person, Dr. NSR Sastry, sir, will give a very brilliant lecture on livestock as savior of climate. And also as K. Sajan Reddy, he will give livestock farming for household nutrition and job security for unemployed youth during post-COVID-19 period. And Dr. Nazrul Haq, he would deliver alternate livestock species for livelihood in northeastern region of India. So I hope as a whole, in national perspective, our listener or the animal husbandry practitioner will get a clear-cut view from this webinar. And Dr. Nazrul Haq, he will throw some light about the husbandry practices that is being practiced in this part of the country. And our different system, one of the important thing I would like to say, the system of husbandry practices for animal that we follow traditionally that is not at par or that is not equal with the other parts of the country. So in this perspective also, this webinar bears significance. And as the Dean of the Faculty, I welcome you all, and also I hope this webinar would be successful and it will have some meanings, and it will deliver the goods for the animal husbandry practices, so that the outcome of this webinar is being fruitful for our unemployed, not only the unemployed or reverse migrated population, but for those of the livestock those who have come forward as a livestock entrepreneur to take livestock as their livelihood. With these few words, I inaugurate this webinar. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your warm address. We shall now proceed with the topics of this session. At the very first, we have the topic, Livestock as Saviors of Climate, to be delivered to us by Honorable Professor Dr. N.S.R. Sastry, Chief Patron, Indian Society of Animal Production and Management, Andhra Pradesh. I would like to request Dr. Zakir Hussain Sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Livestock Production and Management, College of Veterinary Science, Khanapara, to kindly deliver the resourceful biodata of Professor Dr. N.S.R. Sastry.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, respected Dean Dr. Vimananda Saikia, sir, Faculty of Veterinary Science, Khanapara, Guwahati, Dr. Professor
Sir, please unmute. Zakir sir, please unmute. Now it's working. You can.
Good afternoon, everybody. Respected Dr. Bian Saikia, sir, Dean Faculty of Veterinary Science, Khanapara, respected Dr. N.S.R. Sastry, sir, Chief Patron, ISAPM, Andhra Pradesh, respected Dr. K. Shajan Reddy, sir, Dean and Comptroller, Sri Venkateshwar Veterinary University, Dr. Nozrul Haq, sir, Principal Scientist, NRC on Mithun, Nagaland, and the members present in this webinar, my senior professors and colleagues. Today we have our renowned personalities, Dr. N.S.R. Sastry, sir. He is the doyen of LPM. He is not only a national figure but international figure. So I want to recite the brief biodata of Sir. Sir has passed BBSc in 1965 from Andhra Veterinary College, now Sri Venkateshwar Veterinary University, Tirupati. MSc in Dairy Husbandry in 1969, NDRI Cornell, from NDRI Cornell. PhD Animal Science in 1978, Ukrainian Agri Academy. Fellow of Alexander Bean Humboldt Foundation, West Germany. Visiting professor at the Center for Animal Production in Tropics, Uni Hohenheim, 1981 and 1991. FNAPM, 1986. ICR Hori Om Ashram Trust Award for Best Technical Article in the year 1981. ICR Award for Excellence in Research in Animal Sciences. Professor Dr. N.S.R. Sastry, a retired professor of Livestock Production and Management, Haryana Agricultural University, hailing from Visakhapatnam, has been nominated as a member of school board of the School of Agriculture of the Indira Gandhi National Open University. So I request Sastry sir to deliver his most worthy and valuable lecture on livestock as savior of climate. So please, sir, please go ahead, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Zakir Hussain. I would like to share my publication, but it says the host disabled participant screen sharing.
Sir, please, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. You see, this is the livestock and climate are seen as two different diversities, as one's troubling the other. Actually, it is not the case. Both are surviving, both are necessary for human beings. Now, if you come to the climate, what the climate needs, we all take up so many organizations are there for protection of the climate. But what we need is non-interference of the climatic conditions. You see, I was often invited by the Forest Research Institute for lectures on livestock, and I was one can imagine whoever is there, livestock specialist, all the bombardment will be towards you as we as harmers of the livestock and other thing. I just asked you one question. I remember in Hyderabad also I asked this question. Who does remove the trees from the earth's face? Can a sheep go and eat it away? Or even can an elephant eat it away totally? No, it is not. So we are interfering unnecessarily with that one. If you don't interfere, that will be a lot of protection. Now, climate is like a double-edged knife. It is very much needed. And yet it is harmful if misused. It is just like fire. Fire, we use always, right from morning cup of tea to many other purposes. But if it is misused, it can cause damages. Similar is the one. We have to protect it and do it. But let us admit that livestock has got some disadvantages as it is electrocuted. What are the things that it causes? Livestock causes soil degradation. You will be seeing this in blue color. Comments are moderate or generalized. This is from the work that is done by under my leadership with 5 experts at the 9th or 10th, I don't remember rightly, Planning Commission. They said that how can you right away tell like that? You go, sit, deliberate, seek opinions, and then come up with what are these things. We had to go to Meerut, go to institute, and all the 5 of us sat there 5 days and then came back to Delhi. So we at the time estimated by different means. There are also other experts there. Only 2 of us are livestock specialists. It said that soil degradation is only moderate and it is found in anywhere else. Please take this with some caution, because these are not the only ones. There are bigger pollutants, bigger deteriorating factors. Water pollution is also moderate. It is not at all severe and localized. Then emission of greenhouse gases, this is moderate and generalized. Why I'm saying this thing is the international forum under UN has apportioned a particular area of ozone layer to different countries depending upon their human and livestock population. In that way, we have still crossed only about nearly 60% of the uh, ozone layer quota given to India. Whereas there are some other countries which have crossed much beyond so-called developed countries. That's why we are saying moderate and limited. Now, but the livestock industries also we have to consider. They are the ones which are there. Slaughterways, wherever they occur, they are severe because everything is flushed out. But it was also observed that it is all wasted. It can be used better for many other purposes. Whereas dairy waste, fortunately in dairy, as many of you know, we don't use any harmful chemicals. And big, I mean to say, the dairy plants, not dairy farms. The dairy plants, it is minor and localized also, mainly because we don't use harmful subject chemicals. But the most severe is the tannery waste because there are harmful chemicals used here. But fortunately, it is localized, like in Kashmir or Adyar in Tamil Nadu and other places. If you sum and substance all these bad effects, two things come out from livestock, that is greenhouse gases and inefficient use of water. Everyone says, and it may be also to some extent we feel like it is more, we use more than what is required for water. But let us see what the climate does also. We did clarify both the things. Then solar radiation coupled with humidity levels. This is moderate to high and generalized. Even in semi-arid areas like in Punjab and Haryana, when it rains and it continues to be so, it is highly humid. Whereas we from the coastal areas always find the humidity. This is the worst combination that an animal can face. Dry climate, direct solar radiation. No, solar radiation is direct, that sunlight falls directly, or it may be reflected, falling on a wall of the shed or ground and coming back. And also it can be indirect also. The coming falling on trees and other things and coming. Soil denudation. This is also a factor. Nobody asks from the other side what the climate does. You see, the animals' food is from ground. Greens, it they have to graze or browse. It is moderate to severe in some places. In some heavy rainfall areas, the whole ground is leached. And all of you know, before this Bakra canal system has come, what was the position in Punjab and Haryana? It was also very bad. It is only the livestock, the buffalo, which is nicknamed as a aquatic animal, sustaining itself and producing wonderfully in a waterless environment. That was the beauty of the contribution of livestock. By far the biggest reason is the change in rainfall pattern. We will come to all these aspects as we go further in this one again to see moderate. But this is moderate because India in general is not a very heavy rainfall area. Only some parts are. Like you, Assam, you have greater rainfall. You have also floods, and you have to be more careful. Then the diseases and pests, as we know that after rains, the parasitic infestation is big, and also arthropod insects also cause a lot of damage. That is also from the climate. We don't complain. We take it as in our own stride. We try to protect our animals. But unlike other people that your animals are causing this damage, we don't kind of like that. Then interruption in services and supplies due to climate effects, with very hot, very cold. I tell you an example. Always the milk yield of crossbreds and buffaloes was found to be lower per animal yield in winter. So we conducted a study long back in HAU Hisar, both on crossbreds with the help of the concerned scientists there and on buffaloes. We found that it is mainly because of the discomfort felt by the milkers. The milking was not complete. That's why the milk yield is coming less.
Excuse me,
If
sir.
they are provided with angachis or some heating devices, the
Sir,
performance is improved.
Shastri sir, the slides are not moving, sir. Please go for the slideshow. Slides are not moving. Please
For
go
me,
with
they are
yeah,
moving here.
yeah. Slide, you just go for the full screen and then slideshow.
I was in full screen and then it's changing with the slides also.
You can use F5, sir, or full screen.
It is already in full screen.
It's not visible here, sir. In the
I'm sorry. F5 is there. Show taskbar, display settings. It is on slide slow only, not end slide slow.
yes, sir.
Are you able to see now?
You try, sir, again. Once again. Once again, try, sir. Just once he came and gone back.
Are you able to see it? It is showing everything right here. Like number is changing. Slideshow is
Now we think it's coming now.
okay.
It's in
We'll go back to
animation mode, sir. It's in animation mode. Yeah, it's okay. Go.
these are all the things which we have seen. Effects and this is what interruption services I told. There may be problem in supplies and other things. Are you able to see it now? Then in general, that's what I was just now referring to. The human activity is reduced. Naturally, when there is discomfort, everyone will be what you call as this thing. Are you able to see now the slides? Hello?
Yes, sir. But it's in animation mode, sir. You have to go with full screen mode.
Full, it is in full screen mode only.
It's but it's visible, sir. But two slides are seen. Yeah. It's okay, sir, but it's visible. No, please carry on, sir.
Even if the whole thing is visible.
Yes, it's visible, sir. Yeah.
The fact is that every production activity has got some goods and bads. More goods, maybe less bads. And like that, livestock also has got climate-related problems, as we all of us know, and it can also contribute to the climate change or this thing like that. These facts, I'm not giving you the examples. references, but as you go, you will see that these are all based on what you call so many studies. I will at least show you 2 big reviews where it can be done. Livestock are not the most harmful. You see, the FAO estimate says 40% of the contribution to greenhouse gases is from livestock, is 40% of that from agriculture. And agriculture means is a lot. You know, from rice plant, rice paddies, everything that is grain, as you know, it takes in and leaves of carbon dioxide. Then the livestock are the victims of the climate. That's what I wanted to affect it. We have why we are having houses. We are talking about fans, sprinklers, and all these things because we are trying to overcome. You see that our animal produce more. Then livestock improves soil fertility. This is a, mind you, no one is not accounted for. Do we have an account for the contribution of draft for by animals? No. The water retaining capacity, the fertilization capacity, soil fertility, all these things are caused by manure provided by the animals. No other thing can produce. They have tried so many other things. Besides animal draft power, this is what I tell you. This is not there at all. Only estimate was by the one gentleman who is called as Mr. Cartman, the old doctor, late Dr. N.S. Ramaswamy Cartman. He estimated once, actually he was the director of the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. He estimated, his group of workers have estimated that the power, the value of the livestock power and the livestock drawn implements is greater than the value of all the hydroelectric stations of India put together. And that seems to be the case. Even we tried last year to do this one, but it is also the situation remains to be the same. The livestock rearing is a crucial livelihood for sustainable development of the poor, the poorest. The what you call as the curve of the landholding pattern is very, very skewed. There are large number of big landlords and lot of small landlords, whereas there is some type of uniformity as regards holding of livestock by the rural households. These are all the factors to be considered in what you call as when we talk vis-a-vis climate. Not that we should harm climate. We are coming to those steps. And as somebody has just now, Ditsab has said, it is a very crucial food for many what you call as a vulnerable variety of human beings like mothers, children, nursing mothers, pregnant mothers. This is all we have to sustain the livestock, and it is being sustained still since ages. See, you will be surprised that someone has what you call as plotted the greenhouse gases in the Western world, and it comes like this. What you call it growing like anything, like a 45 degrees angle side. But when it is plotted against the industrialization of the Europe, then it is found it is not showing any pattern at all concerned with this industrialization. As you know, in the beginning, the industrialization is coal-based in Europe also. Now, this is one book, Climate Risk Management, like a journal-like thing. It comes by Elsevier. It has got one book, entire book on climate risk management, including a few articles on livestock. I like this article. I recommend if you find anybody chance to read this article very clearly, the Roger Downing and others. Climate change and livestock impacts adaptation and generation. This is nearly a 30-page article with these things. Some of the things I will be quoting from here, though I may not say it there. Then there they talked in types of, this is an actual picture from that one. See, this is one picture which tells about so many things. Impact of climate on livestock. Of course, they are all very small and you cannot see it. We will go into it later. But the main thing to understand, the biggest problem of the climate is increase in temperature. That is the worst, affects the livestock production in the worst possible way. Increase in carbon dioxide, and the other part is a terrible variation in what you call as rainfall patterns. There is also in India, what I am talking contains a lot of studies from India also, where the farmers are always aware of this climate change and the climate effects on livestock, and they are taking measures to overcome this one. That's how everyone is recognized of this problem. Now I will come to that what you call as a chart which I have shown you in the beginning. This chart, I will try to break it and show you because it is worth seeing this one. Consequences of this thing. We talked about what you call as increase in carbon dioxide. And then you can see it in the first picture. There is inflow of the effects of increase in ambient temperature also. The net result is there is a change in herbage growth or forage growth, whatever it calls. Sometimes it grows very slowly with more fiber, and that is what it affects its quality, and less nutrients, more drier parts, reduced transpiration. This transpiration is a protective measure by the greens themselves. They give away less water. This is good, they say. But how good it is, we do not know, because the quality all the same, it changes. Then the ambient temperature, it has got a very bad, severe effect on the what you call it grazing animals due to abnormal growth and scarcity of water. Where can you find? You don't find water tanks everywhere. Only here, what you call heat, and heat. That's what it affects. Now, the increase in ambient temperature, if you remember that picture, it covers almost everything. We will try to bit by bit and see how it regards to livestock. This is all from those articles and related articles. Another 40 references I am putting it without giving them here to trouble you. 2 to 3 times increase in water consumption. Then less water for cleaning sheds and washing. Then there is a reduction in availability of water for irrigating fodder crops. All these affect the performance of the animals. Then there is forage. We will come to the forage in every occasion because that is the main thing. Less water in forest. But we have to provide more water. Decrease in fodder growth. Then all these things are look like overlapping ones, but that is how it is. Everywhere you have to maintain. Decrease in feeding cage digestibility utilization of such products. As you know, the white straws are less digestible and less nutritious because they are byproducts, and also they are very dry. Then there is also production. This is what we are interested. This is what that gives money. In the production, the milk is reduced. The highest producers are affected first, and it comes down, and even lower yielders are affected. Then there is a reduced meat production due to lower daily weight gains. We also have other problems in India regarding its management of growth. For example, farmers generally consider it is not worth feeding these animal cows, right, say from weaning to up to 2 years of age, because they don't give you anything. They just fend for themselves. But if you remember your sigmoid curve that you learned in your veterinary college physiology, it is the fastest growth rate is in during that period that we are missing it. Now, it is reproduction. The reproduction affects in both sexes, and in mainly because there is insufficiency of this thing and also direct effect of climate. You know, it was the late Dr. A. Roy from Mathura Veterinary College who brought to the notice that the semen quality of bulls, buffalo bulls, is also very badly affected due to hot climate, and that contributes a lot to reduction in reproductive performance. In case of chicken, the egg production is directly related to egg reproduction. So once that is reduced, egg yield also is reduced. And because they have very poor, what you call as thermal utilization structures, they are the worst affected. Health-wise, you all know induced in morbidity and mortality of grazing animals, because they are the ones which are facing the direct solar radiation. Prolonged exposure to high temperature affects functioning of body systems. Here again, since that is not the topic of my talk, I'm not going into how it affects, what it affects. You can roughly take it that it affects its metabolism, increase in internal external parasite infestation, especially after rains when there are humid conditions, appearance of new diseases whose problems we can never imagine. And still maybe we have to work out how to control them. Now the third part is the variation rainfall pattern. This diseases, remember that overlapping of increased temperature. That's why I kept it separately like this on the left side. Whereas the variation rainfall pattern affects forages. Number one again the same, and also biodiversity affected. The species of plants growing on any pasture or any this thing, that changes. Useful plants diminish and weeds, they overtake them. Then there are floods and droughts. I need not tell to some people what could be the havoc of floods. It affects farm structures, feed and animals, supplies and services, where from it has to come from somewhere. And the whole area is affected. And the whole area is affected. It is the duty of the all revenue people and other people run after human beings. Nobody bothers about the animals. That is the problem which we are facing. Then I tell you also an example. Dr. Rajat Reddy also knows of Dr. Anil at the Department of LPM at the Kerala Veterinary College. He was during recent floods in Kerala, he was looking after. It is then that the government has realized how important it is to, if you want to save the rural people, you save the livestock. That's how they got many of the things. That realization came. I'm sure this is there already in Assam, because when you held the first ISFM conference, I had a long discussion with Dr. Forget his name, a Muslim gentleman, director of animal husbandry. I knew all the directly what are the problems you face. Apart from these direct physical effects, due to this what you call as overlapping of ambient temperature and then this rainfall, there are so many increase in pathogenesis diseases that you may or you may not know, parasites, insects, vector-borne diseases, stress. Stress is a metabolic disease. We have to receive like that. Don't blame it on climate. It is a metabolic disease with happening in the animals. We have to deal with it. Then we do not know what comes, what doesn't come. But I am here again. This is, I think you may say that this is about nearly 35 reports of FAO regional offices from Asia, Latin America, Caribbean and Africa. From those, I have gathered this one. They also say that livestock is an opportunity to create help poor people. It should not be done. And it should also take all the measures as far as possible to reduce. We will also take it. We will see how it can be done. The livestock rearing is a threat if not done properly. This has happened at many places. Unusual, what you call as this thing, doing it. See, for example, the uh, Palakkad forests are well known as very green forests in Kerala, but they were not the same that were used to be Palakkad forest 20 years back. It is because it is in Kerala and in, of course, West Bengal that tractor slaughter is not banned. Animals from all the states are taken there. They are fattened there and they're fed. That's how that was done. Is it the fault of the animals? Or is it the fault of the people who are seeing for their money and doing it as well? Then rapid growth of livestock sector is a great pressure on natural resources, which it does not. Doesn't agriculture development make it? It is also man-made. The animals doesn't make it. We should not forget at all that it is the most of the people, rural people in India at least, in other countries also, they are sustained by livestock. We should not blame every time that livestock has done this thing. It is a man-made disaster, as I have just now described. Also, it is also very likely that increasing soil degradation problems due to livestock production. This is very well done and finished. And again, you remember my question about who has taken away the trees. It is a human being that takes away. You see, in my city, at least 15 years back, by 20 years back after retirement, I am staying there. The vegetables were very free because you walk few kilometers from the city, there are vegetables. But now one has to go 100 kilometers to find a vegetable farm. That's how it is affected. That's also affects, isn't it? And not just like it is also man-made. Countries have to improve their capacity. That's what all it is all says good things. This means that industry is private industries and other things, they have to contribute for optimize, improve efficiency, utilization, sustainability of natural resources, land and water. We will also see some of the things. Reduce greenhouse gas by far is the this also action is by us. Then changes in system of livestock production. You see, we the integrated farming system, utilization of the waste of one system, say livestock, by the other system, fisheries. Like that it goes. Maybe it used to be like that, but it has gone. I remember in near about Guwahati airport, there is an institute called Rani. At that time, also run by headed by a veterinarian, where all these integrated farms were very well demonstrated. Integrated farming systems. I hope its name is Rani. I am pronouncing correctly. Then, apart from that, livestock is a source of income for 200 million farming families. Each family 5 to 6, you can count how many. And 20 million families are there in. It is the only livelihood that people have. We have to take steps to protect climate, but we cannot, what you call it, say, write off this one, stop this one, like that. So why I'm saying this with some little anger is because I was told by the chief conservator of forests in that one of the training programs, you take away your bloody goats. That is the term he used. I'm sorry, it is a bad word I'm using here in public, but that's the word it was used. To take away these your goats, we will give livelihood to farmers. And that never happened. So there is a plan to grow the intensification of that capitalizes a positive synergies in agriculture and livestock farming. It can be done. It has been happening for years. The crop byproducts are used by animals. The weeds, edible weeds are taken from the fields. Even the livestock owners, landless people go and collect from as a part of the bargain from them. And then it is what you call as fed to animals. Animals give back fertilizers and draft power. That the current production and the meat consumption is increasing everywhere in the world, also in India. There are once upon a time it was very less. Even milk also. When I was a child, it was average daily milk consumption per capita was below 100. Now it is above 300. Same thing with meat also. So you mean to say you take away all the livestock and then you do it? Now it could increase levels of deforestation, but we are not talking about forest. You see, forestry, deweeding, and removing underground brush is a very important activity in forestry, and that is got done previously by the goats. Goat heads, the goat heads were paid money, and their flocks were released into the so that they will very quickly finish off the underbrush. Otherwise, they will cause forest fires. That's one. They have got in mitigation climate change, reducing poverty, involving human health. All these things we have to take into consideration. And FAO says 70% of the grazing, we have a beautiful sounding term called common property uses, utilization. Village grazing lands, you can say. The village grazing lands are there, if at all, only in the records. On the ground, it is not there. Every development man outside livestock, be it agriculture, forestry, or wild parks, or game parks, or giving away to underprivileged people, it is this land that is given away. We had one NGO, I was working as an advisor. We found that not only that it is preventing these animals from their traditional grazing locations, but it is blocking the path to those what you call as residents or traditional grazing areas. Now there is another important organization in our internationally called International Improvement Panel, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, once headed by an Indian. It made two startling, not startling for us at all. Livestock account for 40% emissions generated by agriculture. And it is highly powerful. It has got spread in so many countries. They have got all wherewithal. They got the data, and 40% emissions of agriculture. Agriculture means including animal husbandry, crop culture. And we have to find the blue, what I have given there is we have to find ways of what we call as reducing this. Livestock farmer have to improve environmental friendly other thing measures of rearing livestock. Then considering the entire food chain, livestock farming as a whole, it accounts for only 18% of the greenhouse gases. Only 18%. We will see who contributes the highest. Now, this paper and some other FAO publications and IPP publications have taken. And mind you, this is not some brain-born idea by me or by us specialists or livestock, but the farmers are already what you call as implementing this. Even in India, seeing the changes, they are already implementing. Short duration fodders. I leave it to you to understand because every region to region it differs. What are the short duration fodders? What is short for you may not be short for us. Shifting, showing planting time. Even at times of planting, these things were shifted to suit to the rainfall pattern because rainfall pattern is. Have we not seen rainfall changing? See, the southwest monsoon was completed what all shortfall we had in the northeast monsoon. this year. So it is all changing. There's less water needing crops. They are already using it. Bajra, Sankas, Ciliaris, no, Hariali, they call it that. Grasses, hedge lucerne, stylo. I want to tell you one my experience in Zambia, where I was a livestock advisor. There it is, the rainfall comes as though a tap is opened sometime between in the last week of October and ends by last week of February. From there is not even a drop and first this thing. Where we have used this hedge lucerne and stylosanthus, I could get from other countries, not from India, the seed and got sown them in a proper way around the ranches of the main farmers. And they found that it is what you call as this animal, even dry season, you will find that no plant. But the moment the first drops come, it comes up like anything. And it is the last one to go, the first one to come. That's what they have observed. That's what I too also has observed. For me, opening of eyes there in Zambia, not here. Common fodder fields wherever water is available. What is this you are telling, you know? Now there is government of India, state government schemes to have fodder production units wherever it is possible. In Andhra, we have. Even what you call it, the animal hospital in Gujarat, that model we have. They want to give to the farmers to do it. And whoever has got 5 acres of land or who can pool 5 acres of land, they have changed the rules later, they can do it. They are doing it, this one, and producing fodder. And then from these at controlled prices, they know all the costs and everything. Absolute prices until those who are producing fodder also should earn something. Like that they are declaring. But I must say it is still not perfect. Then silage. Silage is a very preparation. They say that if silage is included in the ration, the animal's performance is entirely different. So for this also, again, I'm not saying this is silage preparation in common central areas. It is a government schemes in many states that are running. In Andhra Pradesh, they are running. I was called for some of these things to see it, just as a honorary advisor. Then many of us only must have seen in papers total ration blocks or complete ration blocks. You know, for Uttarakhand and parts of Kashmir and other places, such plants are there in plains of Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. And from there, they make these total rations, including silage, some hay, dry fodder, then this thing, molasses, our carbohydrate, like concentrate mixture, minerals, they are making and sending it. So this is not a strange thing that I'm telling. Only thing is this has to be increased greater way. If we want our cattle, our livestock to be better fed, to produce more. Then animal waste is what you call as, it is already told a manuals, but still I should, one estimate the IIT Delhi people have said that nearly 70% of the animal waste are wasted. They are not utilized. See, the Fometa hydroponics you must have seen. That company people, once I had a talk in Hyderabad, they were telling with wastewater from livestock farms and these things also, it may not be that efficient, but we can produce fodder. Then Azola, whoever has participated, produced this one, you know the problems involved in that one, but they are still better. They thrive very well without any cost from these animal waste. So this is one aspect which you have to do it. How to do it, where to do it, which season, all those things I am not telling here because the time is less. Then newer feeds and feed supplements, we do not know. We have not produced, we have not studied some, but there are some. For example, other people are doing it. Then we studies at IVRI, NDRI, and Gujarat and other places. So there are many substances which can reduce the greenhouse gas. This is in our own interest. This is my word to all my livestock production friends. If why to waste that about say 30%, they say, let us admit that figure, that 30% we are wasting. Why to waste it? If it is retained in the animal can use it for production or health. So there are so many other, they have found it like wasted tea leaves to some plants. They are there in the literature. We can use it. Now, apart from this, I come back again, though it is mostly I myself feel that it is not a very intelligent way of doing this thing. The common property resources, our grazing lands, that is the great name given to them, common property resources, because there used to be once in farmer common property of the village. Here, see, everyone leaves his animals into them, so that whatever it is still there, it is still further desertified. Should we do it like that? We have wonderful tradition in India where during calamities, droughts, and floods, the animals are held in camps temporary basis. We have got that experience, very great experience and successful experience. See, I had an opportunity to interview the IAS officer in Gujarat who was in charge of at that drought of 82, 85, and he's a gentleman from Kerala, and he says, but for common people coming together, we could not have saved so many animals. Even now people say that, I think his name was one Matthews. If you go to that Rajghat Gir area, the people say that our conqueror animals were saved by that Matthews. He is responsible for that. So it can be done. This is one aspect. I leave it to your imagination and do it. Now, sustainable livestock friendly, again, some ideas I'm throwing out, that's all. But farmers are passively aware already. You can put this idea. You don't think that you go and do it. I tried to do this intelligently, going into the Andhra farmers and telling them. They said, no, sir, we know it already. This happens like this. What to do? We are doing this thing. We are doing that thing, like that. Then this feeding to reduce the greenhouse gases is in our own interest. As I told, that energy which is wasted in through methane, and methane is 23 times more carbon in equivalent to carbon dioxide. That's why when you multiply, you will find as though you are producing so much of carbon dioxide from the livestock side. So this has to be taken into consideration also. As I told you, those many papers which have said what we can feed, silage and total, these are not impractical. These are practical things that we can do it. Then we can, in spite of that, animals are protected. You want to eat them well. You want to assimilate whatever they eat. They want to produce. Then the houses, we have to change it. See, perhaps now I think the maximum anywhere width of the shaded area is 5 meters. Maybe more is required. That's what it is. I feel that also others also from other countries also in this quoted what I quoted also saying the same thing. Then ventilation, don't have any walls, only have half walls, and ridge ventilation is an additional necessity. You open at the topmost portion of as the two roofs join like this thing. Here you have to have a open ventilation. The roof height, previously I remember I was sitting in a ISI at that time. Now it is Bureau of Indian Standards. You must have seen that housing project. I was also in that committee, and the way we studied them, and that was there. I think that housing also has to be increased. I have written to them, but nobody replied. Then drinking water. I told you the drinking water consumption increases. At least 3 MSc students and 2 PhD students at Hisar have worked on the lines of drinking water. If you don't have any other things like cooling systems and other things, at least you have pitchers in the villages. Your big pitchers or tanks. We should have tanks, water tanks for the animals in sheds, which are always in shade. They are not exposed at all. And then cooled, which are pitched drinking waters, it has very soothing effect on the animals. The animals under drinking water under from cold pitchers in the afternoon in summer, their milk yield was at least 10 to 15% higher than the others controlled group of animals. Then we have so many cooling devices. I'm only passing it because I don't want to digress into those things. Cooling devices, we have open fans, showers, ACs, and showers are not required for this thing. And as simple as that, Haryana is a very water scarcity area. What we used to do is we and wallowing, they are taking to wallowing, that is the best for buffaloes, we say. But we have to see it. It is not the best thing. In all the villages, the village tank is not situated right in the village. One has to go to one corner. It may be 2 to 3 kilometers. In sun, these animals are taken, and after wallowing, they were brought in sun back before milking. There is no change. On the other hand, more gain in body temperature. We have compared that with this one. We have taken temperature before and after wallowing there. We found that if you have, on the other hand, you pour water right from the pole region of the animal all along the back right up to the rump and rub it off into the body with a hand or with some wisp that you have, and let it go on the sides. If you do it 3 times, it is far more superior to than wallowing. Wallowing reduces instantaneously temperature by 1.2 degrees centigrade, whereas this one keeps the temperature reduced by 2 degrees continuously. So such things we can think of all yours. So I conclude by saying that livestock are also one of the ones which are affected by this. They are not the male contributors. If and I tell you the secret of this, who came up to this 30% of greenhouse gases or 40% of greenhouse gases, how they have come to this conclusion. This is all done by Indian Institute of Institute and DRI, then the Ministry of Environment and these things. These people who are only they are taking the data in NDRI, AVRI, other agriculture university, wherever there were studies in nutrition department pertaining to gas production, how much of gas is waxed. There were McDonald's bags, you remember. How many animals you can study on this? Very few animals. That data is taken and extrapolated to all these animals of diverse levels, eating diverse materials, and having diverse levels of production and conductivity. And color of the animals also is important in this one. Why most of our animals are light colored? It is because it is a radiation reflective color. That's how they are able to sustain this one. So think all these things. I don't say that our livestock do not cause any problem. We cause a problem, but it is not so severe as it is shown by your dean has said about Western people. You see, after all these people, they say like that, they have come to the conclusion that it is because of the ration that you are giving to your animals. And so we are sending some animals just for freely for some study purpose. In Gujarat, some farm, I don't name the organization, it was there, and they fed it. And later on you see it is good, you import it from us. That commercial interest may be there. You please take guard, and we have to protect ourselves, our animals, and our livestock farmers. Livestock. Forget about all other things. Thank you very much for giving me this operation. Akesh, operation I'm saying because we have to go like an operation. And thank you very much. All the best to you. I hope you will have got some message from me. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, Dr. Jakir. Oh, because of the disturbance I crossed.
Jakir? Sir has finished, yeah.
Classroom is mute, I believe. It's not audible. Please unmute.
And Comptroller Sri Venkateshwar Veterinary University Tirupati delivers presentation on livestock farming for household nutrition and job security for unemployed youth during may I request Assistant Professor Department of Veterinary
Unmute. It is not audible. Please unmute classroom.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon,
now
sir.
now it's audible. Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So I request now Dr. Professor Dr. K. Kappa Sarjan Reddy sir to deliver the talk. I will briefly read out the brief biodata of sir. So Professor Dr. Kappa Sarjan Reddy is a graduate in veterinary science and animal husbandry, postgraduate and doctorate from Asarja N.G. Ranga Agricultural University, Rajendra Nagar, Hyderabad. Since last 28 years, Sir has served in the teaching, research and extension activities at Department of Animal Husbandry, Agriculture and Veterinary Universities in the state of Andhra Pradesh. He served as Dean College of Veterinary Science, Proddatur, and currently he is working as Dean and Comptroller, Sri Venkateshwar Veterinary University, Tirupati. He has guided 40 students in the master's and doctoral program and authored more than 150 research publications, which include 5 textbooks by international publisher. He has developed a novel body condition score system for crossbred cows, Mura, graded Mura and Deccani use. New body condition score system developed first of its kind in the world, which can be used independently as a tool for precision animal feeding. He has developed feeding system based on sunflower crop residue, groundnut horns for dairy cattle, and azola and nut cake for buffalo calves and Nellore sheep. He has worked on rural fodder banks suitable to low irrigation imports areas and hydroponic fodder cultivation using fodder maize and barley seed both in commercial lines and household models. The major project carried out including assessment of nutritive values by the calibration developed using the portable near infrared spectroscopy NIRS under ArchiNet work project in exploring the sorghum based complete diets, establishment of Jersey cross Shahiwal crossbred bull mother farm funded by RKVY with an outlay of 1.5 crore has helped to study the adaptability, productive and reproductive performance of Jersey Shahiwal crossbred cows in hot and humid climatic and feeding condition. He was the recipient of Asarja N.G. Ranga Agricultural University and Andhra Pradesh State Best Teacher Award. He was the chairman strategy development for the integration of IT in domain areas of livestock nutrition, production and health by Information Technology Research Academy, ITRA, Ministry of Electronics and Communication, New Delhi, and developed the strategies for integration of IT in the domain area of agriculture and allied education sectors. SAR is also actively involved in National Innovative Foundation NIF Ahmedabad, Gujarat for mapping of innovative technologies in animal research. SAR has visited University of Agricultural Science, Botswana International Food Policy Research Institute, Washington, D.C., USA as a guest speaker. SAR presented many theme papers in international conference, second any new conference of animal nutrition, Khon Ken University, Thailand, second world conference, Nanjing, China, then accelerating the end of hunger and malnutrition by International Food Policy Research Institute, IFPRI, Bangkok, 7th Asian and 12th World Buffalo Congress, IFRI, USA. SAR was the organizing secretary, one national seminar, one international conference, indigenous, and 4 national workshops. SAR is the president of Indian Society of Animal Production and Management. SAR is the member of academic councils of various universities, members of the group of Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, selection committee member for various senior positions of universities, scientists of ICAR institutions. So I request Sir to deliver his valuable lectures. So please, Sir, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Thank you, Dr. Jakir. I think I am audible to you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for giving an elaborative CV of mine. I think, in fact, I sent only the brief of it. And thank you very much. And so first, let me thank the Chief Patron, Dr. Vijut Chandan Deka, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Assam Agriculture University, Jorhat, and Patron, my friend B.N. Saikia, the Dean of Khanapara, Guwahati, the Chairman of these webinars, TK Amonge, and co-chairmans, Organizing Secretary, my friend Dr. Zakir Hussain, and the Joint Organizing Secretaries and the members of the Advisory Committee, for choosing such a wonderful topic, the livestock, a driving force for food security and self-sufficiency during the current situation of post-COVID phase. In fact, I believe that it's not at post-COVID, still we are in the travel of COVID phase only. What is going to happen about the food security and also the self-sufficiency, including the manpower, livelihoods and all. So those things I am going to present. And always Assam Agriculture University is always with us, with the Indian Society of Animal Production and Management. Today, they took initiative to combine with us and organizing such a wonderful webinar. Earlier, the Indian Society of Animal Production also joined with the same team, Ranjit Rai Chaudhary, my senior colleague, and also Jakir, who are really publishing our journal, Indian Journal of Animal Production, thanks to the AAU again, once again. Today, I'm going to present a topic. Where is? On the topic which is given by my friend colleague Dr. Jakir, he asked me to talk on this the livestock, which really helps in the household nutrition and also provides job security during the post-COVID-19. We all believe in this. Well, let us believe that the livestock undoubtedly supports the household nutrition security and job provider for the people who are really working as a labor force of the country. So enough information given about my CV. I'm competing. I'm a competent in this because I'm working with the different groups. And today, when I'm talking about this particular topic, In fact, since we are in the saga of this COVID phase, we don't have any scientific data generated out of what exactly the influential consequential effect of the COVID, how it's going to affect our economy, and also some of these nutrition security indices that we cannot really support with the scientific data. We don't have much of scientific studies, but based on the publications and some of the survey activities being carried out, I'm citing all this and give a comprehensive view on this particular topic. So let me start my own presentation with a saying of Hippocrates long back 2500 years ago. Let food be the medicine and medicine be medicine thy food. So that means if you really consume a very good nutritional food, you need not approach a doctor and you always will be healthy. Same is the case with when you're planning and when the food is not taken, then you definitely feel ill. So that's why you need to have always the balanced diet. Today, Jakir has arranged a wonderful meeting, a webinar with the students also. So the students should always, when they're growing phase, you need to have a very nutritional and balanced diet. If you can really eat well with a balanced and nutrition diet, then definitely you're going to have a very good, long, healthy life, and you'll be bigger with a, and you will have a lot of energies to carry out the life ambitions of your plans. So here, both nutrient intake and the incidence of the disease always go hand in hand. So when you're perfect in terms of nutritional status, or in the country, the full of citizens having a good nutritional status, then definitely that country is going to be very healthy and prosper. Any inadequate diet that leads to a kind of outbreaks or infectious diseases that end up with because of the malnutrition effects. That's why I always let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Again, I quote late Kofi Annan's, the former UN Secretary General. Nutrition is one of the best drivers of development of any country. It sparks a virtuous cycle of socio-economic improvements, such as increasing access to the education and employment. If you want to really have a good education, one student or maybe the any person who is in employment, you should be good enough in terms of health, and health is only influenced by the nutrition. With these two quotes given by 2,500 years back, the previous Hippocrates and as well as the late Kofi Annan, I start my presentation. If you see this graph, which is given by WFRI, International Food Policy Research Institute, FAO, along with FAO. So all the countries which has got the good consumption of animal source food, that really provides a very good global hunger index. So the malnutrition or nutrition can be the best indices for the nutrition is hunger index. So latest figures of 2017 says so those countries which consumes the best animal source food ASFs, they are nutritionally adequate, and so definitely the growth will be very high. So with this fact, the figures as for the WHO and free, let me see what let me explain about what exactly happened during this the process of the phase of COVID. That's what we are undergoing. So India with this is a status all must be knowing. We have a student pool also here, and it's my responsibility to give some status report of the milk production in India. India at the present 2000 latest 2018-19 publication published figures shows we have more than 187 million tons of milk produced that continues to produce, which leading the country into top position in the globe. We are in the crest top position in terms of milk production. And if you see this, the global annual growth rates of milk production, it could be around 2 to 4%, whereas our country is achieving the annual growth rate of more than around 6%. That was cited in 2014-15 itself. That shows that the milk is one of the animal food source where it provides all the diets, all the nutrients required for us to be nutritional adequate, and we have got enough milk production in our country. Recently, with the incidence of COVID-19, this industry has suffered a lot significantly, and they reduced, you just remember, demand of reduction of demand in 25 to 30% in the country. Remember the pictures which I am going to show some of the values in subsequent slides. It is not the production has not gone down during COVID-19. The production is, in fact, constant, or it is slightly marginally enhanced. It's only the demand. The demand has been reduced. That's why the consumption pattern of milk is reduced, resulting in a lot of marketed surplus. The milk which is going as a waste has generated. So that's why in most of the states, like in Orissa and also even Gujarat, the milk pool is there. So the farmers are coming onto the roads and throwing the milk on the roads. That's happening during this COVID phase. So especially during the first month of COVID onset, there was a decline in the milk consumption with all so many misnomers or due to lack of marketing facilities, the milk is going as waste. That's why there is a reduction in the demand of the milk. So again, I was mentioning about that the last 20 years we have got 4.5% in general, but the last before year we have 6% of annual growth we have seen. This is definitely astonishing figure that the world's milk production has grown about only 2%, but India is capturing a very good annual growth rate. As per the latest national account statistics, so in terms of money, we got more than 7 lakh crores of worth of milk produced, which is higher than the value of paddy, is a major staple food of us, and also wheat. It is around 1.73 lakh crore. So this picture shows that clearly, as per the national account statistics, the milk is a wealthy and a nutritional adequate food generated, which provides a nutritional security for our country people. This is an established fact. Nothing to worry about the COVID situation. We have nutritional resources as far as the meeting of the food requirement of the Indian citizens are concerned. So some of the studies I was mentioning about the survey studies, the Varghese Korean Center of Excellence present in Irma, they have conducted in a study on the effect of COVID, what is actually happening to the milk production and also the dairy cooperative systems in Gujarat itself, being the place for milk operation flood and all. So the major instant result they have observed is it has witnessed an increase of surplus milk. That's what I was mentioning. So nothing to worry about. Due to COVID, we are not deprived of any kind of nutritional diet. We have enough food diet. We have a nutritional security in our country. Only thing is we have surplus milk that is called as a marketable surplus is available apart from consumption of milk for the households and also marketing. That means the milk pulling grow as unorganized players. This is the biggest problem. So if you see the milk production in our country, and if you see this, how much is really going to the organized and unorganized market. So you can find these cooperative societies are supporting at about marketable surplus. You can see this marketable surplus of milk is about, that means after consumption of milk by us, as per our own convenience and economy, and it's around 52%. The remaining 48%, I say 48% we are consuming, remaining 52% where it is going. So this is the problem in the COVID situation. This marketable surplus, excess of milk produced, they are in the hands of the some of the unorganized sector of the purchasing people. And these unorganized sector, apart from the cooperative societies, mostly the private sector people, they are unable to operate during this COVID situation. During the COVID situation, due to the marketing and also due to the sickness of the industry, due to manpower non-availability and various factors that, and also social distance we are following, that has led to these disturbance in the unorganized sector of the milk procurement that resulted in milk surplus in our country. So this is the picture. So that is really the milk processing capacity that has led to the wastage of milk. So definitely it is the call from the nation what to do with regards to the surplus milk, how to do that. So for that, let me see also. Let me tell you about the economy of the dairy farmers. The COVID-19 lockdown has a massive impact on the dairy producers. So earlier I was showing the milk price, sale price. The sale price from the producer level has gone down, which leads to the loss of livelihoods to the milk farmers. This is another biggest impact of the COVID-19 situation. The milk and milk products cost, the procurement price has gone. I mean, the production cost has gone, but the sale price has come down, and also there are no takers from the unorganized sector that has led to the milk farmers are putting into loss, and their economy is drastically affected during the COVID situation. So this is the thing which I was mentioning about how this unorganized sector really hampering the uh, the dairy industry, because this unorganized sector, they take away the milk from the milk producers, and they in turn sell the milk into the hotels, restaurants, and the catering sector. There's a horeca, there's a hotel, restaurant, and caves. So the catering sections. So this milk goes to mostly them, and mainly the sweet markets. And when there are no takers of the sweets, or there are no takers of the milk byproducts, when there are no visitors for the hotels, restaurants, and catering sectors, then this has really hampered the milk sale value. And also because of this, the farmers are put into a lot of the economic deficits during this. So that's why the country has formulated what to do under this crisis situation. We have enough nutritional security through milk, but how to say capture the marketable surplus, make it into value-added product. So for this, say the only option is make the milk into a powder. Skim milk powder is a promising one. The industries they started coping up with this situation, and they have produced now a lot of skim milk powder. Again, you will see what exactly happening to the skim milk powder. If you want to really export the skim milk powder, the global price of the skim milk powder has drastically crashed out. So you can see these values, US dollars of 3,000 per metric ton in January 2020 has gone down to 2,500 US dollars. So this is that shows we don't have even good market in US and other places. Of course, quality is another concern there. So, so understanding the situation, the US government for their US farmers, they have announced 3 billion package for the dairy industry to save this situation under this COVID. And also, the US government also announced more than 100 millions per month to purchase the dairy products. It means government themselves, they purchasing the dairy products. So these kind of decisions need to be taken at our own union governments to save our own the farmers livelihood securities in terms of providing a good price and the ways to capture and preserve the milk for the future uses, and processing further to give a reasonable price for the dairy farmers. So this is the major problem, how the farmers, especially the dairy farmers, are getting affected this in terms of security, in terms of economy, and also their livelihoods. So we were talking about my topic is concerned mainly on the nutritional security, the consumption pattern. If you consume more milk, you are nutritionally secured. If you see the throughout country lockdown situation, it has impacted a lot. The milk consumption has gone down by 30 to 30%. There are various, say, misnomers initially. Basically, the glucose inherent intolerance level, and also the apprehensions that consumption of animal produce may also aggravate the situation of COVID, and the people have started rejecting the milk. So, understanding this problem, and we have started this lockdown in the March 14th of 2019. Now we are almost reaching the almost more than one and a half year period of time. The people have calculated how much time we need to reach to normalcy, at least from the point of the economy and also nutrition security. It has been estimated that still we need 6 to 9 months time to bounce back to the normal condition. As far I'm talking about only the animal products demand, consumption, and the economy point of view only. So that's why I always say still we are in the transit phase of COVID. We are not yet crossed the COVID phase. Still we need another 9 months to 1 year period of time to cross over that. And today, newspaper, if you see this business today, on today, particularly to November 7th, the 15% of the dairy industry revenue comes from the out of home sales. Because that's why the unorganized sector selling the milk to the households, and that is now diminishing. So that is has become down now. This is another problem to the economy and also nutrition security. So there will be a dip reduction in the procurement prices. Then SKM is the already I have mentioned that skim milk powder is going to be the future food for next post COVID situation. If you are looking to the post COVID situation, what is that we are going to eat? What is that we are going to drink? Again, there will be surplus fat in the milk or an excess milk production. But in addition to that, we will also have enough sources of skimmed milk powder resources, which comes at a lower, cheaper cost. If you can maintain the quality control, then definitely that's going to be a good food for our nutrition security. So these are the some of the challenges because we are managing the dairy farms, the livestock farms in our is working in our farms. In all the universities we are maintaining farms, and also the farmers are putting these questions. These are the commonest questions we have faced and we are going to face for next 1 year. The COVID-19 presents these challenges in the livestock sector and mainly the working group. When you are maintaining a social distance, how to milk cows while in maintaining the social distance? What is the ideal practices? Then how to manage staff coming on and off the farm? Because in a commercial dairies in Andhra and Hyderabad and many places in India, we are normally engage the skilled milkers from the state of Bihar. Morning, Saike was mentioning about the migrated labor. When we engage them and give them shelter and allow them with the milk practices, then when they want to go back to their home due to the COVID situation to take care of their families, then who is going to milk the animals? Because the animal is so accustomed and they are accustomed to only one milker and the same kind of mechanism of letdown mechanism. If the milker is changed, there is going to be a drastic influence on the milk production. So how to manage these kind of situations in order to avoid the reduction in the milk production? Then how to address the supply issues in concern the feed and fodder, and that's going to influence our farm conditions. So are there any protocols or scientific data any of the professional bodies or government gives for managing the production as well as the collection. And some of the questions the consumers may have regarding the safety of dairy farms. Suppose I am a consumer, I am doubtful that whether this milker has really done well, and he is carrying the COVID, and the milk is a carrier for the COVID. So these are all the lot number of questions, challenges we have faced, we are facing during the situation. And definitely it is the scientific scientist role. I think this is the webinar. When we are starting with the webinar, the organizing secretaries under the able guidance of deans and directors and researchers here, please formulate a advisory system to the farmers of livestock in your own states and give answers to these kind of questions. And this is known as a localized, the scientifically approved advisory system needed at this hour. I think the after this particular webinar, if you can come up with a solution that you provide a advisory to the livestock farmer in terms of the managing a farm, answering most of these this kind of questions, this webinar is going to be very successful. Of course, we have our own advisory system, ICR Farm Advisory. They have given us some farm advisory, and FICCA has done its own advisory. NDDB people have also mentioned some advisory systems for the corporate systems for answering these questions. I think this kind of advisory system needed in order to maintain the farms at organized level at the universities and also at the commercial level or even at the smallholder farmers levels. So this is all about the milk sector alone, but we need to talk about the meat sector, about the country, because we are basically a good consumers of meat, and meat is a definitely animal, very good animal source protein, which are with a high biological value, which can really provide a nutrition security to the poorer sections as well as the any kind of social sectors. So if you see this COVID, how is it really impacted on the meat sector? I have experienced here. I'm also non-vegetarian. When you want to purchase mutton, we get a mutton. We got a mutton in the market, but with the price of 4 times the normal. So that means the skyrocketing of the market is happening because of the low production of the meat, mainly the mutton consumers. This has happened. So this is going to continue as far as the uh, mutton of the sheep and goat mutton, especially the mutton as such. But it varied with the chicken, the meat from chicken. Initially, there was a problem. I'm going to present that also. So it's going to be the post-COVID situation is also you need to pay more price to purchase mutton in future course of time. And buffalo meat has got red meat or buffalo meat has got enough market, especially the external that we are sending to the African countries and export value. But the local consumers, that there are certain classes of the people and marginal groups, they are eating the buffalo meat as such in our country, and they have stopped eating buffalo meat because of various reasons. This is scientifically proved, and we have a data also. So the consumption pattern of meat, see, the mutton consumption is not reduced. Only thing, the price has gone up. The buffalo meat has gone down in terms of consumption. Let us see the poultry sector in India. This status I need not mention. We are very good in 3.8 million tons of poultry meat was consumed the 2019 before the post-COVID, the COVID situation onset, which is almost valued about 85,000 crores in terms of retail prices. That means we are the very good consumers of both commercial poultry as well as the backyard poultry. It's worth of more than 85,000 crores. This figure also shows that nutrition security in our country is mainly met from chicken meat. Then, because it's worth of more than 3.8 million tons of poultry meat consumed. Same is the case with egg production. It's more than 109 billions of eggs being consumed by our own people. And the growth phase also 10 to 12% growth for the last 3 years. But after this incidence of COVID-19, these are the three important components: eggs, meat, and the poultry meat that has gone down mainly because of the rumors widely spread in the chicken meat. So this the poultry is a species which is always getting some disease from internal or externally. Whenever there is some disease onset or we acquire a disease, immediately the poultry is going to be a big crisis. Apart from the normal crisis of the feed resources and the cost of the feed ingredients. So the poultry birds mainly due to the virus. So the rumor spreaded like this. The poultry also contaminates the COVID virus due to consumption of chicken meat. Handling of chicken meat leads to COVID. This has happened initial 3 months. Then the neck, the concerned agencies, and also people have started experiencing that the chicken is not chicken or poultry meat is not going to say spread the disease. Only it's quite safe. And only things while handling, we need to be very cautious by maintaining all the hygienic measures. Then the poultry meat has again picking up in its price. And this is a classic example of there are some people have experienced that regarding the pig industry. I know this is the pig is considered to be like a cow for in every household in Assam, and it provides a good livelihood and as well as nutrition security. So before onset of the COVID situation itself, the northeastern part of India has observed the African swine fever. It was reported and confirmed by the Indian ICAR, National Institute of High Security Disease, Bhopal also. So this has substantially reduced the best meat available with all high biological index and protein amino acid composition. The pork that's being substantially reduced during the COVID and previous pre-COVID situation. And now I hope that my friends can tell me that how this situation in Assam, as far as the pig industry is concerned. So these are all the problems lead to. We have seen very sorrowful and pathetic situations on the roads. The dairy farmers are coming onto the roads, throwing away the milk on the roads because of the surplus milk. And we have seen uh, the killing and burning of the poultry birds in masses. We have seen in AP, and because AP and Hyderabad and Telangana are the spots for the poultry, and we have many of the poultry farmers gave free of the birds to the consumption of the human being. So this has happened. Now the situation is changing, and the present COVID situation and the future post COVID situation, definitely the poultry is going to provide a very good nutrition security for all of us, and it's more than say more than 10 to 15 lakh birds will have broiler poultry farmers, so they're going to be benefited out of that, and it's going to be a good bright future for the poultry sector in coming months also. Of course we are not ignored the state national government regulations, like the US government has given the a lot of support for the dairy farmers, as they have started purchasing the value added products from their national policy. Likewise we have also two policies, like recently they have given the 15,000 crores project of say animal husband infrastructure development fund, wherein they are establishing various dairy farms, and they are the promising one. And also animal disease control programs, eradication programs are there, so they really support us, our farmers, and our economy of the farmers as well as the farming community in future coming years. This is one part as far as the how the COVID has influenced or is going to influence our nutrition security, mainly the dairy, meat, poultry sector in the present condition, even pig sector. And the topic which Zakir Hussain has made me really work hard to identify other areas. What exactly the job security, employment security. So what is the fate of employment security of our own people after COVID or the present COVID? I need to define all must be having in the youngsters, young jobs like the students here. Normally we use the term employment security, job security. You get more job security when you join in a government sector. When you join in private sector, you don't have job security. This all says the vibrations or the probability of your continuance in the existing job, and how much you pay, how much will be the future pay. Those are the security you must have in your mind. But the exact definition says this job security means it kind of a sense of attachment to a current enterprise or establishment of a range of tasks. Suppose if you are engaged in a dairy farm, you have a sense of attachment to the dairy farm activities. If you are attached to a pig farm, you will have an attachment with the pig activities, daily husbandry activities. But that is the kind of definition source that in any country or even country, our own country, the COVID or post-COVID will never deteriorate or it's going to affect our job security at all. We always have the Indian farmer always will have a continuance of attachment to the regular activities with the livestock. The livestock owner or the farming activity, the person will never lose a job security in any place. That's what I wanted to emphasize. But how this really this COVID has really influenced job security. Morning, Dr. Saika was mentioning about we need to identify some modalities to save our migration of labor. So the emergence has seen we have a reverse migration of labor. We have seen the people are when they are not able to catch up the trains or when they are not able to catch up the vehicles conveyance, they have started walking, say thousands of miles, hundreds of miles. We have seen that the pregnant women are walking for more than 100 miles to reach their places, their native places. So this is happening from urban areas to rural areas. They're going back mainly to have a very safe journey for them. So this there are two sectors. One is the small and marginal farmers we have attached to the farming systems. Other one is a commercial one. So the commercial systems are mostly affected because of this migration of labor. That's what earlier I mentioned that we are missing a skilled milker from Bihar. Then our commercial dairy farms are really getting affected. So whereas the small farmer holders, the family members are acting themselves as a labor. So there we never find any difficulty at all. This is International Labor Organization a graph that shows the red figure shows so the employments in all the countries, the global countries are really it's almost closed down. So this is the global picture. It's not really encouraging one. This is going to continue for the post-COVID situation. Fortunately, this is mostly happening in the industrial sector. It's not exactly in the commercial sector, not in the smallholder sector. So this is the example. Again, presently, the own account workers, that means self-sufficient, that means smallholders are also happening this. In future, that's going to, again, change the situation. So these are the pictures. ILO says, the International Livestock, International Labor Organization says more than 81% of the employers are losing on their own account, but it's not going to affect. So definitely the picture is going to be rosy in post-COVID situation. So these are two things about the job security and also the nutrition security. But my point of advice to conclude or to give a final home taking message for the young students as well as some of the scientists here. What exactly WHO, World Health Organization, recommends for the food kind of foods for the COVID-19 situation? This is needed for our regular life situations. Always you are advised to eat fresh and also unprocessed foods. Don't take the junk foods from the any kind of company still they are marketing it all. And as a campaigner for the animal source food like meat, fish, and egg and all milk, and along with the fresh the foods, vegetables, legumes, the WHO also recommends the consumption of meat, fish, eggs, and milk. Nothing to worry about that. These animal source foods, you have to consume them because they are the the good source of nutrients. Then you also, along with the vegetables, you start eating the meat, at least 160 grams, 150 grams of meat uh, every day, but avoid red meat, but you try to take white meat. This is WHO recommendations. If you want to be nutritionally adequate, please eat this. And the other thing is regarding fat. You just, because you are in the place of where the pork and other fat available, you always try to eat unsaturated fats for this COVID situation. Never go for the saturated fats like fatty meat and some other dairy products which are very rich in the unsaturated fatty acids like oil, cream, cheese, ghee, and lard. You try to avoid, at least for the food COVID situations. Try to eat more of poultry meat and fish rather than going for the red meat. And please don't eat the processed meats unless it is processed really well. I request you, all of you, drink water every day, enough water, sufficient water. That means drink at least 8 to 10 cups of water every day. This is WHO recommendations. Please have it. Those are the coffee lovers, not to consume too much of coffee. Please avoid caffeine during this post-COVID situation. But my message is eat well the animal source food that keeps you nutritionally secure. So this is one another important point I'd like to again emphasize here. Please eat less of salt and sugar. This is not advice for the diabetics, for the those who are carrying high blood pressure. This is for everybody. You use only little salt, 5 grams, less than 5 grams of salt, and use iodized salt. Don't eat so much of salt during this COVID situation. These are the recommendations of WHO. This is a very trickish thing, which because we are really deprived of very good food which enhances our appetite. So please drink chicken soup, which has got a tremendous improvement in the immune system. If you really drink more of chicken soup, which is light and easy, which improves the, say, it prevents the dehydration, it enhances the rehydration, and mainly it enhances your immune system, which is required for the COVID situation. And mainly the protein and zinc from chicken, and also the vitamins also are very much available. Please have a cup of chicken soup daily. That's good advice I can give you. So when you approach any COVID center or a nutritionist dietetics, he will give an advice or a medicines. It has a pack of ginkgowit, vitamin C, vitamin D, and also some other medicines which as per the situation warrants. So all the really we need of these medicine, these form of food supplements from medicines, or can't you get it in the foods at all? Yes, we have enough food resources like even milk, yogurt, curd. We can call it a yogurt is a combination of it's a kind of this how yogurt can be made. It's a live cultures which has got more of probiotics that really enhances your immune system. Please have yogurt during this COVID situation. Then vitamin B6 is another one which never the doctors will never provide for this COVID situation. But WHO proved that vitamin B6 is very important, which is only available in chicken and turkey. Please have chicken and turkey or any meat you have. Then definitely it provides vitamin B6, which provides blood cells RBC, which also helps in the more of immunity power for ourselves and young children. Another feature, like I was mentioning, that ginkgo is the drug normally the doctors will give during the COVID situation. So zinc is a very essential element which is very much available in poultry, red meat, and beans. So this is really required for the immunity power, and some of the breads and cereals also will have. But if you talk about the more absorption ability, the zinc from animal source of food will have more absorbability than from the cereals and other breads. So that's why you always recommend animal source foods, which really provides a source of nutrition. So I needed again emphasis about the backyard poultry, which really provides very good nutrients, and also this is of the meat, how they produce various micro and macro elements for the present situation. So again, I need to mention that if you eat 100 grams of mutton, it will provide 4.8 milligrams of zinc. If you eat 85 grams of chicken, 2.5 milligrams of zinc it comes. If you drink 1/4 liter of milk, it provides a very good zinc. Likewise, if you eat yogurt, it also provides zinc. You need not approach doc for the zinc of it. Zinc is a very essential element during this COVID scenario. I request all the administrators of the hostels, please provide good enough animal source food and milk to the young students working, studying in the hostels. Vitamin C is another important element required for the COVID situation. Of course, the vitamin, when you talk about the milk and vitamin C, you always put question that milk is lacking in vitamin C, but vitamin C can be fortified in milk or along with milk, which can really helps in uh, the they act as a preservative, or also they act as a the oxidative, non-oxidative or oxidative effect, which really helps for keep our tissues healthy. So the prebiotics and probiotics, which are very much available in milk and milk products, they really help. This is the literature shows the immune boosting effects of the milk and milk products, mainly the lactobacillus based the culture, in the form of prebiotics or probiotics, very much available in milk. That's why please encourage consumption of the milk. That really helps in the nutritional security. So I'd like to almost conclude my talk. If I'm taking more time, kindly excuse me because I need to give him this message. Tammy Bird, is a R&D, RD, is a specialist in oncology nutrition. Worked in University of Cincinnati Cancer Center. It's not the how much you are eating food, what is the kind of you're eating food, from where the food source comes, how cleanly it comes, how hygienically it comes, how hygienically it is processed, how it comes to table, and what kind of taste, texture, and it's not the how you are going to take it. In addition to that, please remember when you are dining with your family or your friend on the dining table, you try to enjoy the food and by having a good conversation with your friends. So that's why while dining, you must always be happy to reconnect itself to your friends, so that you can really connect to the food that fuels your body. So most of the cases which are mostly, if you see the habits of the people affected the carcinoma, they are not having these features. Those people are devoid, never had cancer in life. They must be enjoying their lunch, dinner in a very nice way of sharing with family members and friends. So I request you, don't be panic about this situation. Stay safe. And recently, UGC has given guidelines. Please follow the standard operative practices for protecting ourselves and our students. Please follow the unlock 5 guidelines. Eat well, mainly the animal source foods. If you are finding any kind of illness, don't hesitate to be tested. Please go to the testing centers. Nowadays, the everything almost the recovery rate is more than 90% in our country. In many places, you can be easily recovered. Please follow the quarantine from your family members under your community. If you found positive, don't hide yourself, and please no never ill treat the patients, but keep quarantine from yourself. Mainly, please respect the frontline workers, scavengers, doctors, nurses. They are really sacrificing lives, helping the people. And my final message is consume animal source foods and also provide livelihoods to the farming community. So this is the message, and thank you once again, the Assam Agricultural University, my friend Dr. Jakir, who is giving me opportunity to give this message to all my friends and scientists and student friends here. And thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech. There is one question, sir. Just only one question from Squashed, Kashmir. India may be sufficient for food, but not food and nutritionally secure, because food being available does not reach to the needy. You mentioned that milk producers wasted the milk during lockdown. Probably it is not surplus, rather it does not reach to the mouth of the hungry. Sir, your comment, actually it is not a question, but just a discussion. India is food sufficient, but not secure. So what should be your comment, sir?
Yeah, when we calculate the per capita availability of milk and the recent statistics and the availability of milk here, the surplus milk is available. Earlier, pre-COVID situation, the milk procurement and selling of milk and reaching to the milk to the poorer sections, it was not happening because it was in the unorganized sector. As I was mentioning, more than 52% of the milk is procured from the private industry. But during this COVID situation, they were unable to process it, procure it, and distribute it. That was happened. But if you see this, the production figures, we have enough food secures. Only thing is, it's not reachable to the poorer people. That's why many of these present government schemes, NGOs, they are working out very well to provide milk, such a nutritionally secured food like milk, a balanced diet to the poorer sections during the, especially for children, midday meals. They are providing the milk and eggs, and also everywhere they try to give the sachets of milk to the poorer section. That is happening. That should happen, and it's a national milk policy. I think they are looking for that kind of situation.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more, I want to ask one question actually. Not question, but discussion. Actually, we are sufficient in milk production in India. We are more than that of ICM recommendation. But there is a disparity. In some area, it is very less. Like in Assam, it is only not even 80 gram per day. But in Punjab, in other Haryana, like western states, it is like 1 liter per day, the availability, per capita availability. Sir, how can we breeze? What may be the policy for that? Why it is less in some area and it is more than enough in other area? Sir, can you give your comment, sir?
Yeah, always the consumption pattern say relates to the production capacities. So those states which are got very good breeding tracts for the dairy cattle buffaloes, they got enough productions. The farmers are more relying on the dairy. The production capacities are also high. Since the productions are also there, naturally it relates to the consumption pattern also. Of course, marketable surplus also. So some of the states where the dairy components are minimal, the production capacities are also low. So that's why the differences in the consumption pattern also. But definitely there is a need to redistribute. At least now the concerned state governments are regional. They should think of avoiding this disparities by encouraging the resources for the feeding of the dairy cattle or buffaloes, and also induction of the animals should happen. Induction of the greater in native and as well as the crossbred animals is happening to produce in order to produce the enhance the milk production. When there is a production, when the product is available locally, then definitely there will not be any problem for the consumption also. So this kind of the redistribution should happen with the involvement of more from the concerned state and regional governments. But this is I think this is the foresee or the focus of the national local missions, and also some of these. Recently, I mentioned about the 1,500 crores project of the central government. They're looking and they're encouraging for the establishment of the commercial dairies all over the country, and they are encouraging any kind of establishment of commercial dairy units with 10 animal capacity. They encourage, and of course, NABARD and other banks are supporting. If that comes, then definitely that is possible to achieve to avoid the regional disparities and also the state disparities, and every state will have a good milk production. I think it is not an impossible thing, because I tell you an example. Almost of 10 years back, we have targeted one district by name Kadapa here. We have targeted with a vision of enhancing the dairy animals by induction of new animals here. And then we have also targeted certain level of milk production. Then we have achieved it. Almost we have achieved a double of the milk production. That's what we have foresee, what we have thought of. So that is possible. If that is done, I think the national policies and also the support of the state governments that really avoid this regional disparities. I think you're happy with my answer. And also senior Dians are here, Dr. Sasir, and also many other can also share their views. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your answer and discussions, valuable suggestions.
Thank you, Professor Dr. K. Sarjan Reddy, sir, for your resourceful delivery of speech, of presentation. May I now request Dr. Nazrul Haq, sir, Principal Scientist, National Research Center on Mithun, Nagaland, to give his delivery on alternate livestock species for livelihood in Northeast region of India. May I request Dr. Zakir Hussain, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of LPM, College of Veterinary Science, Khanapara, to kindly read out his biodata.
Thank you, Chandrika Hazarika. Good afternoon, everybody. So, Dr. Nazrul Haq sir is right now principal scientist, animal nutritionist, ICAR NRC on Mithun, Medjifema, Nagaland. He completed his graduation from Bidhan Chandra Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, West Bengal. Post-graduation MBSc with distinction in animal nutrition from Birsa Agricultural University, Ranchi, and PhD animal nutrition from ICR Indian Veterinary Research Institute, Izzatnagar, UP. He has research experience in energy metabolism in ruminants, particularly in determination of fasting heat production, metabolizable energy requirements, methane production, and evaluation of feeds and fooders in terms of metabolizable energy contents using open circuit respiration calorimeter. He is also having research experience in nutritional management of ruminants, particularly that of cattle and pashmina bearing sago goats in hilly ecosystem. Presently, he is working on feeding management of Mithun, Bos frontalis, particularly development of feeding strategy using agro-industrial byproducts. He has 40 research papers, 4 books, 28 book chapters, and 3 training manuals to his credit. So I cordially request sir to deliver his talk, valuable talk on alternate livestock species for livelihood, particularly in northeastern region. Sir, please carry on.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for the organizing committee and Dr. Deka, the Vice Chancellor, Assam Agriculture University, Dr. Vivekananda Saikia, the Dean, and all the senior members in this afternoon. Thank you. So, है ना स्क्रीन शेयर ना इसका So the topic today on which I would like to deliver my lecture on alternative livestock species for livelihood in northeastern region of India. Then what is the alternative livestock? Why it is going to be discussed for northeastern India, that is important to hear now. There are animals that are either new or livestock industry to the livestock industry or not normally classified as livestock. Those may be classified as alternate livestock. Can we identify an animal that would be considered specialty or animal or alternative livestock? See, there are so many, and legally some animals are allowed to rear, some animals are considered to be wild type, so that is not allowed. So in my discussion, one important animal, that is bison, I would like to highlight first. Then we will go to our discussion. So this bison, it is available in America, Northern America, then Europe, it is available. Approximately 3 crore to 8 crore animals were there prior to the Europeans explored entering Americas. Almost all got extinct except 300 rupees in 1900 centuries. So what happened? The Native Americans relied heavily on this bison. And from this large population, only 300 animals left. And bison have made a comeback due to conservation efforts, and a large part of which was through private ranches instead of government preservers. Then bison are used for meat and hide production only. And here we can see the pile of, that is bones, which has been depicted here. It is only from bison. So large number of this bison population has been killed, and we saw that only 300 animals were there in 1900. So that was a very, very serious concern. Why I'm discussing, let us go ahead later on. Bison ranching is becoming popular now due to the leaner meat that bison produce, and also more environmentally conscious consumers. For this reason, bison is being reared in Northern American Peninsula, and as well as your European countries also. The National Bison Association is encouraging more people, especially young, to become involved within the bison industry. So from a large population, it decreased very, very bigger population, and how it came back again. That is the story I would like to discuss here first. And nowadays, in USA, bison population is about 5 lakhs. So about 3 to 8 crores are discussed there. It came only 300. Now again, it is reached to 5 lakhs. And we see so many brands in the market of USA that different brands we can see here of bison meat. And price, if we just check it, we see bison meat is 23 pound per kg, yak meat is 33 pound per kg, mithun meat till that didn't go there, and mithun meat in our area, in our country, it is 500 rupees per kg. We see in Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh. So from this discussion, we can see that similar to that of bison, this yak population is decreasing, and mithun population in some state is also decreasing, but Arunachal and other states like Manipur, it is increasing a bit. So if this population doesn't decrease further, we can just discuss regarding this, that how this population can be increased. So here we can see that alternate livestock, we can just take one animal, that is mithun. So mithun trend of the population, if we see here that it is having a growth rate of 30.6% increase is there, mithun population in this northeastern states. And presently available, this mithun is available AP, Manipur, Mizoram, and Nagaland. Then as an alternate livestock, we can rear this animal also in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Sikkim. We can just grow this animal as an alternate animal. And commercial point of view, if we see, commercial farms started rearing mithun in Gujarat, and Western Ghat is the track of this mithun, is also available in Western Ghat. Its ancestor, that is gore, in the form of gore. So mithun having the potential to produce meat. Primarily, it is reared as a meat animal. So mithun meat is a delicacy in northeastern region. This animal can be considered as an alternate animal, like the state of Assam, then Meghalaya, then Tripura, and other states where these animals are not available. But these are available in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, and Nagaland also. So why we are giving importance this animal for rearing as an alternate animal? That is, naturally it is organic. It is available in the forest, and higher dressing percentage of this animal is available on similar level of feeding alternate to that of cattle. And the composition of muscle, if we see, it is having 14 to 19% protein, and crude fat is comparatively higher in growing animal. Only 0.4% we can get in the muscle. So it is almost fat-free animal. It is very much lean type of meat it is, and very much rich in omega-3 fatty acid also. We can produce from this meat different types of byproducts, and this animal can also give milk. That is the potency this mithun is having. So from lactation curve, if we check, it is having a lactation curve. It is reaching up to 313 days on an average. And here, from some study, we can see that this animal can produce about 190 liters per lactation, and it is very rich in nutrient content, and it is having very high fat content, and protein is 6.9. These are the nutrient composition we can see of mithun milk. And here, composition of the mithun milk, also in another study, we can see fat percentage is 8.98%. So fat percentage in milk is very high, but fat content in meat is very, very low in mithun meat. So if we compare with other species also, in terms of milk composition, we can see that yak is having 5.22 to 8.1%, and bison is having 1.17%. This bison is very much popular in USA and USA, Canada, and European countries. And in case of mithun, it is 8.1%, and we can see that it is very rich nutrient content, this mithun milk composition it is having. And it's here we can prepare very good milk products also from this mithun meat, mithun milk. So another important issue we can discuss, that these animals, particularly mithun, we have seen that it is having some methane producing enzyme. It is having very much less in its rumen content. It is NADP oxidoreductase is very, very less, almost nil in case of free range mithun. And formyl transferase is also very, very less in the free range mithun, as well as NADP oxidoreductase. These enzymes are very much essential for methane production. As Professor Shastri was also discussing regarding this, how our animals are producing methane compared to that of European countries. I have worked on different kinds of animals, how much methane production is there from these animals. In our country, particularly from cattle, methane production is about 150 to 200 liters per day. In case of European country, it is 300, 400 liters per day. And I can assure these animals which are being reared in free range system, particularly this methane, they are producing very, very less methane because these enzymes are missing in free range system. So we can say that if we rear these animals in free range condition, that will be more environmental friendly. And for why we can rear this animal as an alternate animal in our system in NH region. And a socio-economic point of view, this animal is very much important. 80.15% of the farmers of Nagaland rear methane to ensure their livestock livelihood security. So livelihood security point of view, it is very much important. And methane farming contribute 35% of the total annual income of the people of the farmer of the Nagaland state. And income from methane farming is significantly correlated with total income, total annual income. That means if a person who is having methane, he is having comparatively more income he is earning. And high input price of fencing in the jungle is a major constraint for this methane rearing. So presently, this animal is present there in AP, that is Arunachal Pradesh, then Nagaland, Mizoram, and Manipur. Then other northeastern state, definitely we can rear this animal. It will be economically beneficial. Then let us discuss with the yak also. We discussed regarding this bison, that population is once it was very much high population was there. Then it reduced to only 300 animals in US and Canada, and again now it has been reached up to 5 lakhs. So in case of yak also, what is happening? Population in different states, they are decreasing trend is there. In the last census, we can see that 24.91% decrease in yak population is there. So we have to take some measures to conserve this animal like that of bison, as we have seen. So in case of bison, what type of measures USA took? Let us see. Deliverables from these genetic studies with bison. Let us see. Compare what we have to do. Compare levels of genetic diversity among the population. Now population of methane in northeastern region is very, very less. Okay, so we have to compare, just check how much inbreeding depression is there, hidden population subdivision is there or not, disease resistance gene is there or not. We have to look into it first. Then establish genetic relationship between populations, confirm population histories and identify unique lineage if it is having, because in 2 states this animal is presently available now in northeastern region, that is Sikkim as well as in Arunachal Pradesh. So from this small population, we have to analyze this animal in terms of their genetic content, and accordingly we have to act. Then inbreeding depression, other things we can just avoid, and we can improve our genetic population. So what the next step we should do? Then effect of culling, we have to check. Skewed sex ratio is there. So some managemental practices we have to do, that culling has to be done. Skewed sex ratio, we have to we have to get it done properly. And small population size and herd reduction is also has to be done, which are not true to the yak characters, yak population character. Determining the percentage of small and large population, multiple sire private herds and whole herd pedigree development we have to do. So why this level of technology needed to help mitigate this bison population? Unlike other smaller livestock species, we must cull the animals which are not true to the yak first, then we have to do accordingly. So that part we have to do for genetical point of view. and then we have to manage their feeds and fodder management. We have to do how to feed this animal and subsequently improve this one. So challenges for this both Mithun as well as yak, we have to see deficit of feeds and fodders is there in north eastern region, and judicious use of the existing resources we have to do. Then use of appropriate technologies we have to implement, and maintaining cattle and buffalo. Then deficit of feeds and fodders, we are seeing here that here we see in case of Arunachal Pradesh, we see greens are abundant, and in Mizoram also crop residues and greens are abundant. In other states, that is Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura, both crop residues and greens are deficit condition, it is there. Here the deficit and availability picture we are seeing here, and here we see forest cover, it is having in Arunachal Pradesh, it is having highest forest cover, and simultaneously other states like Manipur and Mizoram states are also having a higher level of forest cover. It is 90%, 85%, about 75% forest cover is there. Wherever the forest cover is there, maximum in those states, Mithun is available in sufficient in number. So fodder management is forest ecosystem. We have to give importance for rearing Mithun in organic type of mode condition. We can go ahead, because those animals, those Mithuns which are reared in forest condition, those are by default, we can say, managed in organic type. So what we can do so that in forest ecosystem these animals can get more feed. So here we can see that in Nagaland condition, some tree fodders, those are is being lopped, and again next year it will grow nicely. So this system can be managed. It is both for fuel as well as fodder. It can be used. And here we can see in the broom grass, that is Thysanura agrostis, is a kind of grass is available in this region, that if we cut during the month of August and November 2 times, then we will get far more quantity of available digested dry matter, that is 17.6, 19.3 we can get, and if we don't cut, then we'll get only 18.4 quintal per hectare. So what is we can get out of it, that if we just cut 2 times during the month of August and September, that is a rainy season time, we'll get just a production will be just doubled. So we have to give more importance such type of activities. Then we are having a lot of fodder trees in this region. The people who are rearing these animals in forest condition, they are not giving importance. We can get, these are the approximate yield we can get per trees in different age groups. So we have to isolate, we have to identify these fodder trees, and accordingly we can get these fodder trees, fodders. And we have just analyzed that what is the trend. Suppose if we are having a farm in northeastern region, in which months the sufficiency of fodders will be there. So here total fodder production, if we are seeing, that is highest fodder production in this region we can get, that is from the month of June to October. Beyond that period, a deficiency we used to see. So accordingly, we have to manage the system. So in case of Mithun, we in our institute just trying to identify what kind of fodders in the forest Mithun is consuming with some videography. So let us see how it is helpful. Here from videography, if we take the screenshot, so accordingly we can identify that videography. Just we have keep the video, we are just tagging the camera in Mithun horn. Accordingly we can see that these are the fodders they are consuming. Very easily we can just see that those and identify. And what we have to do next? Suppose we have seen sufficiency of fodder is there only during rainy season. So how can we augment the production and just mitigate the deficiency for winter season? Here we can see here in the northeastern region, we have seen people are just producing maize stover and maize, and people can get stover out of it, out of them, and then different types of thick stem fodders are also available in this. Napier-like fodders are also available. So those cannot be used during rainy season. We cannot preserve very nicely in the form of hay. So what we can do, we have developed some methods that if we crush that one, just mixing with some straw, paddy straw, and others with a feedlock machine, and if we dry this one, the polyhouses, easily it can be dried. So these are abundantly available during the month of June, July, August, September. Then that can be preserved for scarcity period during winter. And we can go for silage making also simultaneously. And there are so many agro-industrial industries are there in Assam. In Assam, we can see there is present some beer factory and distillery factories are also there. Lot of byproducts are being produced from these factories. But these byproducts are being taken in other states like Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, and other areas. Those can be easily mixed with some paddy straws, and we can prepare some feed blocks out of it. Just we have developed some method to mix this one with paddy straw, and we can easily prepare some feed blocks without using any binder. So it can be very much helpful if we use this technique for feeding mithun as well as yak also. And simultaneously, some supplementary feeding has to be done to these animals because these animals are reared in free range system. So here, what happens? They used to suffer with some mineral deficiencies. So here in our institute, what did we do? We analyzed what kind of minerals these animals are having deficiency. Then we developed some area-specific mineral mixture, and we prepared block out of it, and we are having a dispenser. This dispenser, they can live easily in free range system and to mitigate their mineral deficiency. And another most important thing is that these animals, mithun in yak and northeastern region, where it is reared, their fertilizer consumption is very, very less. So it is very easy if we go systematically to convert this region and declare it as an organic mode of production system. That will increase the value addition to this in higher price the product the farmer can get. So in this way it will be more easier to get more remuneration from this alternate type of production system from mithun as well as yak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nazrul Haq, sir, for your wonderful presentation. With this, we have come to an end with the series of presentations that were listed for the day. Now, may I request Dr. Zakir Hussain, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of LPM, Culture, Veterinary Science, Khanapara, who is also the organizing secretary of the webinar, of today's webinar, to give the concluding remarks. So, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. So Today, we have organized the webinar on livestock, a driving force for food security and self-sufficiency during post-COVID-19 phase. As we know, there are many migrants, laborers has come back to their home. Some has gone return and some cannot. So what they should do? So there is a scope for livestock farming. As we know that though we are self-sufficient in milk production, but we are not self-sufficient in case of meat production. According to ICMR recommendation, we should get more than 11 kg meat per head per year, but we are getting 3 or 4 kg per year. So to bridge the gap, we should rear more livestock for meat production. So to rear more livestock for meat production, meat animal we have to select. And for that, more people should be engaged. So in that way, we can create the job in each and every part of our nation. So first, we have to think which species should get importance. So there are some area specific species like pig in the northeastern region. In Himalayan region, sheep is mostly more demand is there for sheep. And in all over India, if you see, goat meat is equally popular in all over India. But one species we are neglecting, that is buffalo. Buffalo, that is called Kara beef also, which has no taboos or religious sentiment. So if we can go for rearing buffalo calf, particularly the male counterpart, which is mostly neglected, we can to some extent meet the gap of requirement of meat to our growing population. Moreover, the lectures delivered by our renowned speakers are most valuable, and I think this will help us a lot to make and compile a small booklet in the name of this webinar, or as a as a remembrance or like souvenir. So I request all the panel speaker to send the PowerPoint presentation which can be compiled, and some other topic can be added to make a topic a small booklet of 20-30 pages in memory of this webinar. So I request my cordially, from my core of heart, I request to all the speakers to provide this. Moreover, as we know that methane production is one of the culprit. Everybody is telling, developed country also blaming us. But today's HAR has enlightened, Dr. Professor NSR Sastry, Doyen of LPM, has enlightened us that how the livestock can help us beside methane production. It is not that they are producing only methane, but on the other hand, they are giving the dung, they are giving the valuable milk. So in that way, they are balancing the environment. So they are helping in organic farming. Without livestock, we cannot think about the organic farming. Then the topic delivered by Reddy sir, Sarjan Reddy sir, is also very valuable, and I think this will be a valuable information, and we can put in the bulletin booklet which will be compiled, like this: household nutrition, job security, unemployed youth during post-COVID-19 period. So it will solve a lot and creation of job. And if we can convince the government, ultimately politically we have to motivate it, whatever government will be there to create more job in livestock sector. As you know, uh, Women Veterinary Forum is fighting in the state of Assam for creation of job. There are few hundreds, I think 200 or 250 doctors are there working in the state of Assam. But we require more than 2,500 doctors in the state of Assam as per the requirement, standard requirement. So if we can bridge the gap in the Assam state, we are having only 80 gram of milk per head per day, but we at least should have 280 gram of milk per day per head. Then in case of meat production also, we are not sufficient. If we want to meet the demand in the state of Assam, then we have to create more job, we have to go for more farming, therefore need of veterinarians will be more. So I request every authority to look into the matter and please create some more job in this sector, livestock sector, animal husbandry department. Then come to the alternate livestock species for livelihood in northeastern region of India. As we know, there is mithun, there is yak, which are not only economically important, they are culturally equally important, and they are only the backbone of those hilly people. Beside that, I want to mention that rabbit is another species which can also be an alternate livestock and which can give meat to our population. Rabbit, if we can popularize it, its meat has very, very good quality. Heart patient can also take it. It is less in cholesterol. So there are so many qualities of rabbit meat, but thing is that it is not popular yet. If we can popularize this meat, rabbit meat, then I think we can also, to some extent, fill the gap of demand of meat. Next, topic number 4 is backyard livestock farming for women empowerment. Actually, Dr. A. Sharad Chandra was supposed to deliver lecture on this topic, but due to some urgency, he could not deliver lecture on this topic. So I request him to send the material so that I can compile it. So with this few words, I thanks all of you. And last formal vote of thanks will be delivered by Dr. Rajyoti Deka, co-organizing secretary. So please, Deka.
So good afternoon to all. I myself, Dr. Rajyoti Deka, the Assistant Professor, Department of Livestock Production and Management, College of Veterinary Science, Assam Agricultural University, is present proposing the vote of thanks for the today's webinar on livestock, a driving force for food security and self-sufficiency during the post-COVID phase. I, on behalf of the organizing committee, convey our heartiest thankfulness and gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Assam Agricultural University, Jorhat, Dr. Bidut Chandan Deka sir, for his inspiration for holding the webinar. And we are actually really thankful to you, sir. So we are also thankful to our respected Dean, Dr. Vivekananda Soikya, Faculty of Veterinary Science, Assam Agricultural University, for his guidance and cooperations and giving us the all infrastructural facilities, providing us the all infrastructural facilities to conduct the webinar successfully. Thank you, sir. So it is our great privilege and pleasure to offer our vote of thanks to our honorable resource persons, especially of the today's webinar, especially Professor Dr. N.S.R. Sasti, who is an eminent scientist and renowned animal production person and chief patron of Indian Society for Animal Production and Management and stalwarts of livestock production sectors. Professor Dr. K. Sarjan Reddy, sir, Dean and Comptroller of Sri Venkateswaraya Veterinary University and President of Indian Society for Animal Production and Management, and Dr. Nazrul Islam, sir, Principal Scientist, National Research Center on Mithun Mejifema, Nagaland. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time to deliver the speeches and sharing your wise knowledges to all the participants and on the important aspects during the era of the new normal. So we offer our sincere thanks to all participants who has participated in the webinar. And we are especially thankful to the Indian Society of Animal Production and Management for collaborating with us. I, on behalf of the organizing committee, also offer our sincere thanks to all the faculty members of College of Veterinary Science, Assam Agriculture University, especially the Department of Livestock Production Management, and employees of the College of Veterinary Science, Assam Agriculture University for successfully conducting the webinar. Thank you very much once again. Thank you very much, sir.
One announcement. Actually, feedback link has been given to all the participants. Please fill up this feedback link within today by 10 p.m. and they will get this certificate. One more thing is that actually our respected professor and head, Dr. Tapan Kumar Among sir, is not present today because of his urgent hospitalization due to some heart problem. He has gone surgery. He has gone surgery, heart surgery. So I request all the participants and all the members to pray her quick recovery. So we are really missing our ASUD Department of LPM Khanapara. So once again, thank you to all the honorable speakers, participants, and members, and the technical person who has helped me a lot. Thank you. Thank you once again. So we may leave now, sir. Sir, Reddy sir, we may leave now.
Dr. Jakir sir.
Anything, sir?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
You
Well
want to
done.
tell, sir?
Yeah. You congratulations.
Please send the PowerPoint so that I can compile it. And I want to make a small booklet like like or
do that.
some more things.
Yeah.
So I request you, sir. So
Congratulations to you, sir, and your team.
Yes,
and
sir.
Convey my regards to Ranjit sir. Ranjit Rai, sir.
Sure.
And
Actually, our ASUD all of a sudden has day before tomorrow, yesterday, hospitalized. Dr. Tapan Kumar Among sir. So he is not here.
Okay.
Sir, that is why we are not feeling that much of.
Yeah, that's right. But it's good. It's good organization.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Congrats.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Closes. Feedback was feedback.